This is Will from WillToRock.com. I'm here with Mark and Ashton from MGT. Thanks for joining me, guys. I appreciate it.
How you doing?
Good, thank you. How's the reception been on this tour so far?
It's been really good. It's the first chance we've had to play these songs live. Oh, we did some of them last year in some European festivals, but we've got to be playing about 2/3 of the album on this tour, and it's been very liberating to see how well the songs go down. You know, we even took out a few of the cover songs, which you'd think would be crazy, but it actually, you know.
I don't think we're not doing any covers.
Well, we were doing seconds.
Yeah, I was not saying we've at this point. I think we've cut all the covers.
Yeah, that's right. And it wasn't like it was weird. Normally, bands wouldn't be cutting the covers like a new band.
Right.
We cut out our Human League cover, and then we ended up cutting out the ABBA cover.
Yeah.
So we've just been feeling like the material's really strong.
Yeah, and it's rewarding when it's all your own.
Which I was telling Mark, it's a great album. I love the album. I feel like there hasn't been something like this a long time that's kind of hit these areas. I think Goth type of rock is a little vacant in this area.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even keep track of the Goth scene, but you know, I wasn't really worrying about that. We just wrote an album that was true to our influences and you know
what we're interested in.
Yeah.
So it's all been very natural. You know, we started writing together on his what was the first solo album, being MGT Volumes.
Yeah.
And just kept writing songs, and it became clear that this one was going to be a collaborative effort, you know, sort of partnership style, and the album came about very quickly and very naturally, and we weren't really paying attention to styles or this is, you know, whatever we were, and that's what I think it's a pretty varied album. It's pretty diverse.
There was kind of an agenda for me. I was like, when we did the Reaping, I was like, let's do a whole album that's like that. But it isn't really. The album isn't really all that. But there was some kind of like, we're going to carry on like that, but it wasn't trying to make it goth or for me, goth's such a. Yeah, I think we stretched the envelope. You know,
it was stretched.
Yeah, you wouldn't listen to our album and go, oh, that sounds like Joy Division or all that stuff. Maybe a bit of Sisters of Mercy, you know. But yeah, we're just having fun with it, really.
Yeah,
it's great. This collaboration, do you see it going anywhere further beyond this album?
Well, yeah.
Slovakia.
Yeah. Nigeria, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure we'll keep writing. I mean, this one just came out, you know, and it's like having a child when you have an album. It's actually like having 13 children, actually. It's 13 tracks on the album, 15 tracks on the digital download. And
that's the one that I
it's like a big effort. So, yeah, it's like, you know, once we're ready to write again, and if there's a demand for it, I'm sure we'll be. It was very easy for us. I just throw demos at Ashton and he just puts on great vocals, and he'll probably throw some demos at me, and it's very natural and easy. You know?
Yeah.
I was reading that you're into a lot of interesting progressions, and that's usually where you start.
Yeah, I'm always trying to be a bit clever, you know, and not be as obvious, much to the chagrin of whichever singer I'm working with. In this case, Ashton, you know, but he just dealt with everything I threw at him, and we were talking about this the other day. Kind of, it makes you perhaps go into some areas that you wouldn't normally do, you know.
Yeah. I mean, and I said to Mark that because this is the first time I've ever collaborated with anybody. You know, I put out all these albums as myself and as The Awakening, and it's always just been I write everything and I do everything, and to have somebody else, especially someone of Mark's caliber, create these pieces of music. In some instances, I took them verbatim. In some instances, I did a little cut and paste, chopping, moving things around. But to have that and essentially allowed me the freedom to really focus on the lyrics and the vocal melodies and the vocal delivery, and you know, kind of know that that's what I get to do to sort of like blow people away, you know. And he does, and we'd mix together and produce together and all of that. Right. But he's writing the stuff, and he's playing the stuff, you know, the music, the bed of it all.
Yeah, I'm just trying to create a canvas for Ashton to sing on, and then sometimes the songs. Actually, we put a vocal down, and then I'd be like, okay, I kind of know what I need to do with the guitars now.
Right.
That being my main area, I'm also programming drums.
Yeah.
So then the songs would then start to evolve more, usually heavier.
Yeah.
They'd get bigger usually, or we'd be like, okay, this song, this song needs a chorus in everything I've done, and I'd come up with a new bit for it.
Right.
Yeah, very organic, really, very easy. None of it was like a real. Some of the songs were hard to mix, but that's just because I'm not really a professional mixer. I just, you know.
And that's absolutely true. Is that was probably the most challenging part. You know, creating the stuff was
super easy. You know,
Right.
so you know, some bands take years to finish things and all that. I think we had ours done in a few months.
Did you bring ideas to it that you already had, or was it more organic, like you heard it and then that inspired
he had
it?
a lot of demos that were existing demos, but then obviously I would sing whatever I was inspired to sing, or write whatever I was inspired to write, and sometimes, as I said, chop them up a bit, sometimes leave them exactly as they were. So the prerequisite for me was just to feel, that spark in the song. You know, there might have been a couple that we were kind of like, okay, maybe not. Let's not really bother exploring that one. But that even in that was sort of natural. And then of course we started writing them from the ground up. You know, like he'd come back from touring with Ricky Warwick, and I think that's when he wrote All the Broken Things.
from Belfast.
Yeah.
From Belfast.
And he sent me that, and I was just like, yes, this is good. You know, and from there we started writing more. It was fewer of your like old demos and things.
I started writing new stuff,
and you just kept writing, and I think Trading Faces, for example, he sent me like an iPhone demo.
Yeah.
And that one I kind of said, okay, and so I got to kind of arrange it, and then he would go back and arrange some more and add more things, and then so that became like really the most organic of it all. I think right towards the end, which I think is normal for an album. But by the time you've got 10 tracks in the bag, kind of thing, you're so relaxed, and often you end up doing your best work.
Yeah, my problem was like I tend to always demo like full blown, like, guitar riffs, intros, verses, choruses with like, it's no vocal, but I kind of do this whole big affair. And of course I don't know if Ashton's actually going to like it, so when it got to Trading Faces, which was towards the end of the album sessions, I thought, well, I've got this riff, and I just sent him like an iPhone recording of it.
Yeah.
And it was a quicker way to go, do you think this would appeal to you?
Right.
Can you hear something? And that's actually a good way to go forward. Maybe I won't always create these full-blown affairs for the next...
But sometimes I'd say, there's no space for the singer on this one.
Yeah.
It's just like
It's an instrumental.
It's like 45 guitar tracks.
Oh yeah. Even
So
with,
mute some of those, man.
even with Wayne Hussey from The Mission, he'd often comment that my demos are just overblown and just strip it down, man. Just give me something basic.
Yeah.
So you compensate for there not being a vocal there, because I'm not a singer.
Right.
Never tried to or attempted to be a singer. Really.
It's not going to happen.
Just don't like my voice.
No.
And if you've heard me sing, you'd be like, let Ashton sing.
Did you bring everything to the table for this album, or after you and Ashton had got together, was there something that came from that?
Well, I think that's what we were saying now, is how...
Yeah, it's kind of collaboration.
Yeah.
A couple of things kind of came from Ashton, right? Every Little Dream obviously being one.
Yeah, I mean, we try to keep the model that Mark creates the music, and I take it from there, and then we go backwards and forwards production-wise. We kind of felt like if I start giving him too many songs from my back catalogue, my unreleased tunes, then it starts, he'd feel like he's kind of recreating stuff that that was kind of your feelings. I mean, we did it with one song called Every Little Dream, and it worked wonderfully, and the end result was great. But I felt that I was also more excited by this whole collaborative thing. So to have him send me things, even if it was just a riff on an iPhone, at least it wasn't my riff. It's something that came from him. So I would respond, and he'd write in keys that I wouldn't necessarily sing in, and I would try. I might actually sing it's almost a new voice for me. It's somewhere between The Awakening and my solo work. Right. It's its own. It's got its own character, and I wrote the melodies with live performance in mind. The songs are very kind of up and uplifting, as opposed to the kind of the more broody, goth, melancholy type stuff that I am associated with from time to time.
My stuff's perhaps a bit more high energy, right? It's got more rock and roll.
Yeah, and I've experimented that just in my solo capacity. Yeah. So this really was like somewhere in the middle, in something different, because when I do a rock and roll record, it really just sounds like rock and roll. Yeah. This still has like a bigger sound to it. It's a more sort of epic. We try and write these epic choruses, really, both musically and lyrically and vocally as well.
That was what I thought when I heard it. There were some that I can hear being played on a big stage to big crowds.
Yeah. Well, why aim for anything less?
Much like you too. Kind of. Their music translates, and I'm not comparing this to U2, but much like their music translate, you can just tell, oh yeah, that's going to sound great in a big arena. I don't know if that was on their mind, but I guess I'm influenced by bands like Simple Minds and U2, and I just like that epic sound. That's what I liked about the 80s, was the way bands could just sound massive and really thunderous, you know. And I tried to bring some of that back, we both did with this album.
Conversely, you're talking about these big, loud songs, and then you throw Atlanta onto at the end of the album.
That was Ashton's idea.
Stone Temple Pilots cover, which really works. I think it's really great.
I'll try not to sound exactly like the press release, but you know, we both were, but I was very moved by Scott's passing, and not long after that, I kind of reached out to Mark I wanted to just do like a tribute, just a one-off, just as myself, as a solo track, Ashton Nyte solo track, an acoustic stripped down. So Mark graciously, I think he said Merry Christmas, and he sent me the acoustic. And
I think you said there was too many chords in it, so I had to work out all the chords. I wasn't even familiar with the song. I loved Stone Temple Pilots, and I'd listened to that album, but I guess I'd never really noticed Atlanta on it. You know, I tend to lean towards the high energy songs. So then when Ashton sent to me, I was like, wow, this is like really like almost a Doors kind of song.
And I just love to, you know, as such a big fan of both of the band and of Scott Weiland's voice and his sort of entire energy, really. It seemed like the most fitting tribute, you know. So, and then once I sang on it and sent it back to Mark, of course, there was squeaks in the background, and then of course he started adding other bits and pieces to it, and it started feeling more like something that was actually part of what we were doing, which was this Gemini Nyte project. I'll hold the thought there for a moment. We just have no luck.
It's part of the whiskey.
It
actually is going to work perfectly.
Okay. We're talking about this like this emotional, heartfelt.
I think it's a somber version of the song, you know, and that was deliberate. It seemed fitting to make it more melancholy, so I kind of made the music more melancholy before Ashton even sang on it, and stripped down in a way. And of course, you know, melancholy is going to fit right in with Gemini Nyte as an album, so it just was like, and I said to Ashton, this is kind of too good to just be like a one-off. I hijacked it basically. I was like,
he stole it. Completely stole it. It's going to be my song.
I do take, you know, full responsibility. The downside was we did this back in, you know, not long after Scott died. And
it was within a couple of months.
And we shot the video because Ashton happened to be in LA, and then. But our label at the time were like, oh, well, it's too soon for any of that. You know, we're still working volumes. This was my German label, so we've ended up sitting on it for like 2 years. So it's been such a relief.
That's why we look so much younger in the video.
Yeah,
is that what?
yeah. We sat on that.
Is that the smoke and mirrors? You were younger.
We were literally younger. So it's been quite frustrating to sit on it and past like the first anniversary of his death, we still couldn't put it out because our deal then changed and we changed labels. But it's finally out, you know. It's
finally out. It's great.
And it had to be the last track on the album.
It had to be.
We both agreed on that immediately.
Yeah, it's a nice closer.
I
was going to say, so most of when you were putting this album together, you were sending stuff to Ashton, you were sending stuff back. While you've been on the road, is there any collaboration? Are you coming up with stuff together, or you're enjoying this tour right now?
If we were in a flashy tour bus, you know, not lounging around, but this tour's been fairly rock and roll, you know,
it's been pretty
racing to the next venue, and so we haven't had any time to be creative.
Of course, I have a rock opera that I've just written. No.
Yeah, we took on a new drummer, 3 days for the tour.
Jared, is that who?
Jared, who's absolutely amazing from Boy Sets Fire. So we had so much on to deal with, you know, that we wouldn't even. I think you'd have laughed and said, "Hey man, should we write a tune? Hang on, a little guitar." You just would be like, "No," you know.
So you've been out here. You're living out here now. You're ending here at the Whiskey in Hollywood. This part of the tour.
Yeah.
Nervous at all? I saw something online. You got some surprises tonight.
Yeah, I guess we can say because this will not be.
It'll go out later.
But we got Burton from Fear Factory, who sang on the album on Dystopia. He's kindly agreed to step out of ministry rehearsals and go on tour with them tomorrow. He's going to come tonight and sing Dystopia with us, and that's going to be great. So that's our big unveil, and I think Yerke's also got a guest coming up, but we're not sure.
we don't.
I think it might be Robert Plant, maybe.
Robert Plant? He was just here a couple of weeks ago. I
Oh,
saw
was
him.
he? Yeah.
It wouldn't be a drummer, would it? I saw someone walk in earlier.
I'm not sure who their guest is, actually. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Any stories from the road on this one? Has it been pretty mellow? I know a couple of the guys in Yurki's band,
Yeah.
Ace and stuff. Is anything crazy to?
So you already got the stories and then
I haven't got anything yet. No, I haven't got anything yet.
The Vegas show was funny. That was the last one we did because it turned out to be an outdoor gig which we were unaware of.
Yeah.
And that's not a problem, but the opening band with this, what were they called? It wasn't Nocturnal Affair, it was some other band, and they were all dressed up. It was like Marilyn Manson was going to open for us, but Marilyn Manson's band back in like the 90s, full makeup and like weird stage gear, and they came on. They were most amusing, most entertaining band.
Yeah.
But just probably a few too many beers after some of the shows, but nothing. No TVs thrown out of hotel windows.
No, well, most of them didn't have TV. No, they did have TVs.
You better hope not, because it'll be your window. It's coming from here.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So,
we played a show at Liquid Joe's in Salt Lake City where we were going on before the Spasmatics, which was kind of unusual.
You can't tell them this. This is going to live forever.
I thought it was amusing.
3 people will see this.
Yeah. I thought it was amusing that they were like kind of going to be following us with a bunch of cover songs. It was a funny, entertaining idea.
It was almost David Lynch-like. It's
Yes,
surreal nature. Yeah, it was a surreal. I'll say it's surreal. That's
Surreal's a good idea.
We went to a goth club in Portland, and somebody wandering around in like a unicorn head.
Yeah.
And it was like David Lynch. It was the most bizarrest night. It was fantastic.
Yeah. That's always good. You meet wonderful people and interesting people and not so wonderful people on every tour. But I mean, that's life,
Yeah.
And I think it's the strange microcosm because you're in this unnatural kind of environment that travels from town, like a carnival that travels from town to town, and it's it is what it is, And I think we always learn something, That's,
How's the reception been? How about the crowds? Did they know the album? Is it getting out there?
It's getting out there. Yeah.
I think it's a mix. I mean, we've had people singing along and dancing along, and people standing stupefied.
What we found was interesting is that I put the ABBA cover in from my last album.
Sure.
Yeah, because it's got loads of views, Ville Vallis in it, and loads of streams on Spotify. I thought, that's got to be in the set. But we found that people were no more, were indifferent to it. They'd like it, but it wouldn't get any better a response than, say, any of the new album songs.
Right.
Yeah.
So in the end, we just ended up dropping it.
Yeah, we dropped. Yeah, it became like the least.
We got bored of playing it.
Yeah.
That's what it was. I mean, maybe it sounded good, but with pedestrian and people start asking for it. Yeah, hey, we'll do it. But we found the other songs more exciting, more rock and roll.
So that was a surprise.
Yeah, that was an interesting development.
Right.
Any messages for the fans? Any last words? Anything we missed? You want to talk about?
You first.
Just hope you guys are enjoying the record. We had a lot of fun making it, and what's amazed me with this album is how different people have different favourite songs. It's although there's certain songs that are definitely occurring more and more, and people only have some of their favourites are, but people are enjoying the album as a journey. Not just like, the first couple of songs are great. They actually like listening through to the record, which is it's like old school, when people made albums, actually made an effort for it to be like a journey while you listen to it. That's what we're trying to do.
Yeah, I echo that and just add that in 2018, to have people care enough to buy into, whether it's physical with money or just to buy it, paying attention to something that you're doing it's a blessing, really. I mean, there's a lot out there. There's a lot of distraction and noise in good and bad ways. Yeah. So we're appreciative of people listening, people showing up, people caring, people commenting, people giving feedback. All of that. Art's a two-way street. We don't want to do it in a bubble. Yeah. So it's encouraging that people care. So thank you.
Thank you both for your time. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.